All right, today we're going to dive into a skill that's, well, it's fundamental for anyone in tech, but especially for those of you in computer graphics and game development. We're talking about graphics visualization. It's the art and science of turning really complex data into visuals that are clear, powerful, and tell a story. So let's get into it. Okay, so check this out. On the left, you've got a table of raw data. It's just a wall of numbers, right? Can you spot the trend? It's not easy. You have to scan everything, compare numbers, try to hold them in your head. But now, look what happens when we map that exact same data to a chart on the right. Boom! Instantly, the story just pops out. You see a really strong upward trend. That jump from total confusion to sudden clarity, that right there is the power of visualization.
So what are we actually talking about here? To put it simply, graphics visualization is just the process of turning raw data into visual forms, like the charts and graphs we all know. You should really think of it as a bridge. It's this vital link between the raw numbers stuck in a spreadsheet and what our brains can actually understand, letting us see patterns and insights that were totally lost in that sea of numbers.
Okay, so we've established what it is, but why is it so incredibly effective? Well, the answer isn't really in the data itself, it's actually inside our own heads. Let's take a look at the science behind why we are all just hardwired to love visuals.
And that's a really good question, isn't it? I mean, it's the exact same information after all, so why does just changing the format from a list of numbers into a picture have such a massive impact on our ability to get it? Well, it all comes down to how our brains are built from the ground up.
Well, here's a perfect side-by-side. Trying to pull a key insight out of a table means you have to read and then compare every single line. It's a really slow, deliberative process. But with a chart, your eyes just instantly go to the tallest bar or the steepest line. Our brains are basically elite pattern-finding machines, and charts feed them information in their native language.
So, how much of an advantage are we really talking about? The research here is absolutely stunning. The human brain can process visual information up to 60,000 times faster than it processes plain old text. No, that is not a typo. 60,000 times. It's just a staggering number that shows you how deeply our biology is built for sight.
And here's the why behind that absolutely wild number. Get this, a whopping 90% of all the information that gets sent to our brain is visual. And what's even crazier is that a full 50%, half of your brain's resources, are dedicated to visual processing. We're not just, good at seeing, we are fundamentally visual creatures.
Okay, so it's a cognitive superpower, we get it, but we need to be really clear about something. Effective visualization isn't just about making a pretty chart. It's an act of communication. It's about telling a clear, compelling, and, most importantly, honest story with your data.
And any great piece of visual communication really stands on three main pillars. First up is the message. What's the one crucial thing you need to get across? Second, the audience. Who are you talking to? Are they experts who get all the jargon, or is it a general audience that needs a simple version? And third, and this is maybe the most important, the integrity. Is your visual an honest, truthful representation of the data?
And this is something you've really got to understand. Your choice of chart, your colors, your labels, every single thing you do sends a signal. A rising red line just screams danger or loss, right? While green feels like growth or success. As the person creating it, your job is to make sure all those signals are working together to tell the one true story that's hidden in your data. Okay, so keeping all that in mind, let's get practical. We're going to explore that very fine line that separates a design that gives you instant clarity from one that just creates a total mess. So, take a look at this. What makes this chart so good? It's simple. The title tells you exactly what you're looking at. The bars are sorted, which makes comparing them effortless. The labels are clear. Bam! In 2 seconds flat, you get the key insight. Google is the top choice. This is good design. It's focused, and it gets straight to the point. So here's the difference in a nutshell. Good design is all about clarity. It supports the message and uses proper, honest scales. Poor design, on the other hand, is just cluttered. It's full of distracting stuff. We're talking weird 3D effects, busy backgrounds. Some people call it chart junk. And it can even use sneaky, misleading scales to twist the truth, whether it's on purpose or not.
Right, so knowing what makes a good design is one thing, but you also have to know how to spot a bad one. Let's break down the most common mistakes you're likely to see so you can steer clear of them in your own work.
You can pretty much sort these errors into three main categories. First, you've got ugly figures. These just have bad aesthetics. Clashing colors, tiny fonts, you can't read the text. They might be technically correct, but they just distract from the point.
Next up are bad figures. These are the ones that are just confusing to look at. Think of those awful 3D pie charts where the perspective totally messes up the size of the slices. But the absolute worst of the worst? The wrong figure. This is a visual that's showing incorrect data or has messed up the calculations. It doesn't just confuse you, it actively misleads you.
And I really can't stress this point enough. A misleading chart isn't just a simple whoopsie. In a world that pretty much runs on data, putting out a dishonest visual, that's just as bad as publishing lies in an article. It completely breaks the trust you have with your audience.
All right, so let's bring it all home. As you keep going with your studies, I want you to start thinking of visualization not just as some technical skill, but as this new superpower you're unlocking. The power to look at a massive complex data set and bring its hidden story to light.
And this right here shows you just how essential that superpower really is. Data visualization isn't some isolated thing you learn in one class. It's the hub. It's the thing that connects computer science with data science, with business analytics, and even with good old-fashioned storytelling. It's the common language that lets all these different worlds talk to each other.
So at the end of the day, why does this matter so much for your career? Because it's how you're going to find those aha moments in huge, messy data sets. It is absolutely essential for a career in science, business, or tech. It's what helps people make better, smarter decisions. And honestly, it's just a core part of how we all communicate effectively now.
So I'm going to leave you with this one final thought. Every single data set you work with from this day forward has a story inside it just waiting to be told. You're learning the language to tell that story. So the only question left is, how are you going to choose to tell it?